Hello, my bookish stars. Yes, I am back with another video. Y'all, I'm super excited about this video. Y'all know from the title, I am a romance girl at heart, but guess what? I think I'm in love with reading thriller books. So, my creative stars, I'm having a really good time in these thriller book streets, okay? I know I really love romance, and I really haven't been in that romance type mood, but I've been in this thriller thing. I don't know. I just am having a great time reading these books. So I started really off by reading Do Not Open, Kirsten Moblin. This was the very first thriller book that I've read, okay? Seriously, y'all, this is the very first book that I read, but I really enjoyed it. I read this book in one day. I mean, it was 300, was it 300 and something pages? Let me see how many pages this book. 196 pages, not even 300. 100, almost 200 pages, but I really enjoyed this book. It was my first thriller book. I was just like really wanted to read this book, and I wanted to know what was going to happen. So then I got into this phase probably about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago with this Housemaid series, right? So I got the Housemaid series by Frida McFadden. That was the Handmaid's Secrets, and the Handmaid's Watching. I loved all three books. I really did. Of course, you know the favorite is going to be the number one book but I really love Handmaid's Watching. I guess because it had a different element for me, and because I'm a romance girl, it really did something for me to see how she elevated throughout the book, the three books. So, you know, Millie, I think her name was Millie. Millie went from the first living in her car, but the Housemaid's Watching goes where she has 2 kids. She has her own house now. So it was just really good. But let me tell y'all. So I read so many different books. So I read Lucinda Berry, The Best Friends, yesterday. I started that on Tuesday, and that was October 8th, because the day is I'm actually doing the video for my Bookish on the day that I'm getting ready to post it. Normally I try not to do it, but it's one of those days. But anyway, so I read that, and I also read The Boyfriend. So if you're following me on TikTok, I have that information on TikTok. Frida McFadden, The Boyfriend. I love the book. I was really engrossed in it. I had it on my Kindle, and I also listened to it on Audible. I do not have the physical copy. I don't know if I'm going to get the physical copy, but let me tell you, I'm really love this book right here. It is so different from any thriller books that I ever read, and I don't read that many thriller books, so it was fascinating for me. It was a series, the Modern Maker novels. Y'all, I haven't read all the series yet. The only book that I've read is The Laws of the Property by Eric Lassalle. Y'all, when I tell you how I came across this book was I like to watch Danny Reeves, and I know I talk about her a lot on my Bookish vlog, because she's the one that really talks about thriller books that, you know, and give you like beginner books, and she talks about her books, and I love the way she kind of explains the books that she's reading, and when she's in her car talking about the books and stuff like that. I know she buddy read with her friend, I think her name is Kim, and I wanted to get this book. So This book was actually free for me to read off a Kindle, my Kindle, and also listen on it on Audible. So when I'm working, I like to listen to my books. And at night, I like to listen and read along with my books. I don't know if anybody else does that, but I do. I love doing that. Growing up, I grew up Catholic. So some of the things that was in this book, like going to confessions, took me back to those times when you have to go in this booth and you be like, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned." And you have to tell your sin and they'll tell you what to do. I remember them saying stuff like, I used to go in there, it was so silly. I used to go in there and be like, "Oh, I cheated on my test, Father." And he'd be like, "Okay, daughter, just go and do like 5 Hail Marys and 2 Our Fathers and God will forgive your sins." I mean, serious, y'all. But this book right here, trigger warnings and stuff like that in this book that you probably need to know about. But I'm gonna share something with you. Let me share the back of the book and then we'll get into what I got to say. So I'm gonna read the back of the book. 30 years, 36 priests butchered. His bloodiest masterpiece is yet to come. Every 10 years for the past 30 years, a dozen clergymen are killed, brutally murdered in a twisted scene emulating the death of Jesus and his disciples. It is the work of a serial killer known as a martyr maker, and in 2011, he set his marks on New York City. So Detective Quincy Kavanaugh and Fee Freeman, along with FBI agent Janet Macklin, now they have very little time to catch this monster before he completes his final cycle of killing and disappears forever. But the investigation is made even more difficult when they discover that the seemingly unrelated clergymen are anything but the symbols of godliness they would have their communities believe. Y'all, when I tell you, I ate this book up, I really did. I read this book in a day and a half. Okay? So, if I read a book in a day and a half, y'all know you gotta get it. Alright? So, I got the whole series, y'all, because I wanted to read the series. So my next book that I'm getting ready to read will be this one right here, Laws of Wrath. So let's talk about it. So the Laws of Wrath is the second book. There are those who fight the devil within them and those who worship it. The butchered body, the butchered body of a cross-dresser is found in a dumpster in Chinatown, New York. Nothing out of the ordinary for NYPD, except this time the victim is a Detective Fee Freeman. We learn about Detective Freeman in this book. Brother. At first, the slaying looks like the random act of a vicious killer, but when it is discovered that there are similar ritualistic murders throughout the city, Fee and his partner Quincy Kavanaugh, along with the FBI agent Janet Macklin, have no choice but to join forces with Dr. Daria Zipic, a brilliant but deranged satanic cult leader serving time at a maximum security prison. Fee and his partner must do everything they can to stop the bloodshed and determine if the evil they are hunting and the psychopath they are trusting could actually be one and the same. Y'all, so this is my next read and I'm so excited to get into it, but let's go into the third and final book. So the next book is The Law of Annihilation. Y'all, I'm telling you, I'm just ready to read these books. Now I'm gonna tell you a little story about me in these thriller books, okay? It's a brilliant and buddy cop thriller. A race war is brewing in New York City and nobody can stop it. It's summer in New York City. I wish I would have read this in the summer, but hey, doesn't matter. And the swallowing heat wave stifles the area. The entire city is on edge. Tension between the Hated and the Black community have been steadily escalating since a tragic incident a few weeks ago left a Black teenager dead. Then 2 rabbis are killed in a gruesome attack at their synagogue. Meanwhile, FBI agent, we're going to talk about Janet again, Macklin, has dreams of finally being appointed to FBI first female director when she is diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Wow. And given 4 months to live. While keeping her illness a secret, she's excited to help NYPD, Quincy Kavanaugh, and Fee Freeman solve the case of the murder rabbis and more hate crimes threatening the city on the brink. As the bloody count mounts, time is running out for Macklin in many ways than one. Y'all, laws of annihilation. So y'all, what is so interesting to me when I'm reading the thriller books is what in the world are the authors thinking about when writing these books? Because I'm like, ooh, the minds of thriller writers, it blows my mind. Like, what are y'all thinking? What do y'all dream about at night? I'm serious. Like, the imagination that people have and how they can put it on paper is just amazing to me. It's amazing to me. So, y'all, I am in my thriller era right now. So, if you have some recommendation of really good thriller books, leave it in the comments. Okay? Please do. But, y'all, I am enjoying this ride right now. I'm not going to say that I haven't had dreams about somebody doing something to me or whatever. I have. I laugh at it because it's funny to me because I haven't had dreams like that in a while, but it don't faze me one bit or another. But I'm just like enjoying this journey because I'm just engrossed. And if I can really just sit down and talk to my husband about these books, I know they are good because I talked to my husband about, actually this morning, about this one right here. And I was just like telling him like the story about it and all of that. So y'all know it's a good book when I can come back and just share it definitely with my husband. But I hope that y'all enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all next week on another bookish vlog. Bye guys.